Hello friends, Win Big Marketing here with one of my best friends, Justin Leventhal, Paramount Auto Leasing. We've been best friends since probably the last 15-20 years. And just as an introduction to Justin, he has one of the most best kept secrets basically in the universe in regards to the car business. He has a leasing company that delivers cars to your front door. A lot of people don't know about this, and we're going to ask him some questions and see if we can kind of just educate and hopefully bring the service to you, because within an hour's time of speaking to this man, you can have a new car delivered to your house. You don't have to go to any dealerships, you don't have to do anything. He will lease you a brand new car, and the car will arrive to your front door or your restaurant or your spouse's job or your job, and they will pick up your trade-in. So you literally will never have to leave your house. I have first-hand experience. And 2 years ago, he did a Cadillac Escalade, a brand new Cadillac Escalade for me, and we had lunch that day, and we signed the paperwork at the restaurant, and they brought me it was a white on brown Cadillac Escalade, Platinum, and my wife is rolling around in that car today, and it was one of the most basically simple processes. And since then, I had to go back because I moved to Florida. I had to go to other dealerships, and I physically have to go. But even if you live in Florida, he can handle this for you. So let's introduce, welcome, and welcome. Let me ask you a few questions. How long have you been in the car business? You could take us all the way back to the early beginnings.
I grew up in the car business. My father's been in the business since I was born. Actively, I started after college, 2004, in the wholesale end of the business, kind of behind the scenes, selling dealers cars and buying cars from them, and that's kind of where I got my foot in the door. Did that for probably till 2013, and at that point, I just saw an opportunity for people to the retail into things. Leasing was becoming a huge thing at that point. I was actually dealing with a lot of dealerships that were selling me trade-ins and stuff like that from customers that were leasing cars, and I saw an opportunity where people seem to spend a lot of time shopping around. People seem to get stressed about the whole thing. My relationships that I had created at that point with hundreds and hundreds of dealerships, I was able to start the new business, and what I basically do is I know any rebates, any incentives. I basically know a dealership's cost basis.
Let me slow you down, because for me, I've been in the car business my whole entire life also, basically since I was 16, and I was always in the used car world. So for me, when I go into understand, and I've bought probably in my life 30,000 cars, the same as you, right? So you've been doing this now, and you've probably leased thousands of cars to people, but rebates, incentives, to me, I don't understand it. Like, really, because it's not in my dialogue, and I'm a car dealer. I can only imagine what an average consumer has to go through if they don't know the terminologies on what a rebate is. What's an incentive? Like, how do I take advantage of that?
So, on the lease side of things, every month things change. The banks or the manufacturers, they set a residual, a money factor. In layman terms, that's basically the interest rate you're going to pay and what the bank thinks the car is going to be worth when the lease is up. They use that to dictate what the monthly payment is going to be.
How do we save money with that situation?
Basically, what I
talk to me like I'm a kindergartner. Justin, how do I save money? Why am I coming to you?
Well, what a dealership will do is they'll take those interest rates. They'll start there. They'll mark the interest rate up on a customer. There'll be incentives where if say you're buying a Jeep and you have a Jeep, there might be $1,000 or $1,500 incentive that they won't even tell you exists.
Wow.
Unless you start doing your due diligence and shop from dealership to dealership, and you'll figure it out yourself. Okay. What I do is I make
How much time would that take for me to figure
that could
out?
take you days, weeks, and a lot of people, they'll spend 2 weekends of their life doing this, and I've seen it. And when I was posting other things, I'd see people at one dealership that I was dealing with, and then I'd go there the next week, and they'd be there. It's like the time being spent to me was crazy. So what I do basically is just cut everything right to the chase. You call me, you can say, look, I'm looking for a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Well, let's take a step back to memory lane. 2 years ago, I wanted an Escalade. I trusted you, so obviously, I just said, hey, Justin, but I'm a car dealer, so I have to double check my friend, make sure he's not making too much money on me. But the point is that I called you. You said do the credit app. I filled out the credit application. Within 30 minutes, you have an approval. Okay, so what's the next step then? I said, what color? You asked Nick what color.
The options, the color.
Okay.
I give it, I'll price the car for you down to the dollar. If you're okay with that, I'll give you the VIN number, add the car to your insurance policy, send me those documents, whatever, driver's license, just a couple documents I would need, like you did, and that's it. I deliver the car to
what's the name of that?
Stony Hill.
Stony Hill.
Yeah.
We had a few drinks, and it was a surprise for my wife that we delivered it. We actually we have that video also, so that's
it's what I do.
It was easy.
It's a concierge service. Kind of trying to cut all the bullshit per se out of what a customer has to go through to get the best possible deal. And people are busy nowadays with work, family, life in general. There's not time to go shopping all over the place.
So I mean, just to drive, like if I go to one store, what about the wait? I mean, I've walked into new car dealerships, and then you have to I mean, for me, because I became a consumer when I, shifted my careers into this video production and marketing. I literally would go into a dealership and I'd have to wait 30 minutes to potentially speak to somebody.
That's part of their game too. They like to. A dealership loves to tie a customer's time up because then you've been there for an hour, 2 hours. You're pot committed at this point. You feel like I don't do that to you, and I can also.
Well, you can't do it to me because I'm in the luxury of my own environment. I just literally do a credit application to you, and then you call me and say you're approved.
Most of it, it's over the phone or email. I mean, I'm not going to tie you up for more than 5 minutes at a time. You know that. And the other thing.
So this is perfect for like doctors, lawyers, anybody who's busy. I mean, for anybody.
Anybody. And if you're unsure of what you want, I mean, you could tell me, I have a budget of this much a month, and I can make you 5 or 10, different options that you might have not even thought were an option.
Right.
So.
Well, this is the other I wanted to say for like if you've explained this to me before, but if you could elaborate on it for the people, like you can have a Nissan or you can have a Mercedes. Not to say one is better than the other, but if you always wanted a Mercedes, you just didn't really think you could get it for the same amount of money. So if you could just touch on it.
People don't think a lot of cars are attainable for what they want to spend on a monthly basis. It's very far from true. I mean, like you just said, a Nissan Maxima maybe $400 a month, and the same Audi A4 or Mercedes C-Class on a particular month, there may be enough incentives to get the car to that price. I also have access to sometimes demo cars that may have been, a car that an owner of a dealership was driving or something like that, and I get those discounted tremendously, which, you may be able to get a C-Class for $350 a month versus a Nissan Maxima for $450 a month. But that opportunity doesn't lie at every dealership that you're going to walk into. So
you're the inside guy. You have.
I have the access.
You know the stock.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, so in a nutshell. I mean, if you could give me 3 like bullet points. Bullet point 1, savings. Bullet point 2, time. Bullet point 3.
I guess what's the word?
I mean, luxury. In my mind comes, it's like
concierge.
Concierge. It's just, it really is, in my opinion, like you can't beat it.
It's having somebody do all the legwork for you without having to.
And you can price shop. It's not like you're.
I encourage new customers. I've built this business to. It's all at this point. A lot of my business is referral, word of mouth. People, friends that refer.
It took me some doing to get this guy on camera, just because he's the world's best kept secret, and he doesn't even really realize it. And it's my moral obligation in terms of what I do is to bring these messages out for businesses to understand that like you are top secret. You shouldn't be. You're providing, like, it's a revolution. I mean, the technology that's available today. Why are people doing things the old-fashioned way?
Because people don't know. That's the problem.
Information is just, and there's so much information. It's hard to. There's so much noise in the marketplace. And the same way with the ads, like I find myself in other things that I am not a specialist in, not knowing which direction to go. Like, so where am I going to go buy shoes? Or like I'm thinking I want to buy my son a jersey today. I don't know where to go. I'm not a specialist. So
Everything's the internet nowadays, and to me, I lay in bed, I'm on Amazon. I might be paying more for something that I could have got, but it's the convenience to me is tremendous. It's absolutely. I mean, I Christmas shop online. I don't go to the store and you might not find what you want. I don't have the time or the patience to do it.
And you know what's funny is I was just Amazon, Black Friday sales or Cyber Monday. We were sitting on the couch at home. Danielle was like, okay, this is the day I'm doing my shopping. Let's buy Christmas, and then you're done, and you don't have to leave. And there's so many, like I'm engaging with doctors, and I go to the doctor's office. She's like, I have to go. I'm so busy. I have to go buy 300 gifts for somebody. Do you realize that you could have just bought all those 300 gifts
In half an hour? Yeah.
And is this the basically?
I do this all year round.
We can buy a car from you in 30 minutes or less.
100%.
So 30 minutes or less of my concentrated time.
And the car's usually delivered to you, if not that day, the following day. Unless it's a specialty car, which we need
Is it coming with a free tank of gas, full tank of gas?
Full tank of gas, everyone. Everyone.
So what else? I mean, what do you think? What haven't you said?
What I was going to point out a few minutes ago is the trust factor. I mean, people that don't know me and haven't been referred by somebody that knows me, they lack trust. And I encourage, this is when I say to them, listen to me, this is the best price that I'm going to get for you. I encourage you, go shop around, make your calls. If you get it lower than that, I'll tell you, by the time you've committed yourself to 5 hours in a dealership, you're going to have spent more. They're going to sell you a warranty, an window etching, whatever it may be. They'll make that money up. I know what a dealership can sell a car for at the end of the day. And if the numbers don't add up, I know they don't add up from the beginning. So, and most of those people, I'd say 95% of them end up coming back to me after they've wasted the hours or the days.
And sometimes you can call a new dealership. Like, I mean, if you just really think about this, as you're saying, convenience. If I call you and I'm just dealing with you, I call a dealership. Sometimes you're on the phone just waiting to speak to the first salesperson for 10 minutes. Literally on the phone. I mean, you could try it. You could call and pick up the phone right now and call a dealership and see how long it'll take you.
He's just the customer, he's this, he's that. I mean, dealerships, they have their way to get customers pot committed, like I keep saying. That is, I mean.
What is pot committed?
Committed,
for the layman, like myself, what does that mean?
Means you
put all your
chips in. So much of your time and energy into something that you're going to go with them regardless, because.
Walk me through the process. Like, get in your car, get out of your car, find the place, get in the car, drive to the dealership. Yeah, 10 miles, that's like 40 minutes. Get out of the car, sit, say, uncomfortably, try to like get
met with somebody. The sales guy's going to tell you, oh, I can do it for $400 a month.
Oh, forget that. Just to even go sit down. Oh, let's go look at the car. Let's go test drive the car.
Like I said, it's days. It's days of doing it. And that's days if you know what you want. If you don't know what you want, it's weekends. Weekends of different cars.
So what are you telling me, that I can call you and say, hey, I have 400, what are my 4 options?
What are my 3 or 4 options? I sell everything, so it's not advantageous for me to sell you a specific brand. You walk into a BMW dealership, they want to sell you only a BMW. With me, there's no upside to any certain brand or any certain car. I'm gonna tell you what I think the best car is for your budget and for what you need the vehicle for. I mean, there's
that, for me, in my opinion, I think that's like amazing to just have basically 4 options. What's my wish list if I have a wish list? Sometimes I'll text you and be like, hey, I'm thinking about these 2 cars, or I'll say, hey, what's the incentives? Because then I can just get a new car whenever I feel it is the right value, and so like you have a list, you call some of your customers and say, hey, this is a deal that's happening, and they could just take advantage of it, right?
Yeah, and certain times a year, say December, this month, it's historically BMW and Audi. They have their winter sales events, and this is probably the best month to buy one of those types of cars. Whereas, come February or March, that's probably not the case, and Honda may be pushing for whatever reason. So, like I said, there's I can give you a lot of information that you're probably never going to be able to get by yourself.
Right. So it's like it's like I said, the best kept secret in America, sitting right here with me. it's insane how you would buy a car any other way, in my opinion. I've bought and sold a lot of cars in my life. I mean, I've personally experienced it. It was literally like we meet. He gives me the papers to sign. You're going to sign them at the dealership anyway. It took me under an hour to buy a brand new Cadillac Escalade. Thanks to Justin. How's your golf game?
Horrible.
As usual.
I haven't had time to play, to be honest with you, but
What's going on in your personal life? What do you got happening?
I am actually engaged, getting married in a few months.
Congrats! I already know, but we'll do the handshake.
Little baby on the way, and just bought and redid a home, so I have a new home. So a lot of
you had a lot of good
a lot
stuff
of positive things going on.
So there's no time for golf. What are you doing? What are you doing to entertain yourself? Is there any time for entertainment? What are you doing on Sundays?
It's Sundays, usually
Giants, watching the Giants.
home. If it's summer, we're outside, barbecue. Sometimes, take a ride up to Manhattan, walk around, family stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary. I have one day a week now, so
One day a week.
I'm working 6 days a week. So
Well, the business is good.
yeah.
Business is good, and it's because of the service. Obviously, the business is growing.
I'd have to say the business is growing 100% a year for the past 4 or 5 years, which to
Just
me
where
is
I'm just word of mouth.
word of mouth. Exactly. Yeah, it's
But
great.
can you handle all these new people?
I can.
You can handle.
I have drivers, guys that work for me that they're out on the road all day and they're delivering the
Oh,
cars.
the schedulers, yeah.
I'm positioned in an office all day long, as you know. And I'm doing the behind the scenes, the paperwork, and the customers and all that stuff. And then there's guys that are actually going to meet my customers and go over the cars and the paperwork. And another point I was going to say to you is people get nervous. They never met me. They fill out the credit application. They decide on a vehicle, and a car's a big purchase for anyone. So they say, oh my God, the day of, they start to call me, I'm not sure. I tell everybody, the car gets to your house and you're not happy with the car, you are unsure of the paperwork, you don't have to take the car. My drivers are able to go over everything with you as far as functionality of the vehicle, as far as everything the contract states. And you're not obligated to that car until you've sat in it, you've moved it, you've driven it, and you feel comfortable with everything you're signing.
Yeah, you see, 6 days a week worth of work. I try to get a little personal conversation going, and it's right back to work. This man is a machine. How many years in the car business? Without giving away your age. We're pretty young. We're mid-30s, so we're
15 years?
15 years, 16 years. Yeah, it's basically your whole life, and your dad was in it.
I grew up in it.
I
grew up in the car business.
Rolling around, and now your kids
parking cars at 15 years old in the dealership's parking lot. So
it's in the blood, right?
Yeah.
It's in the blood. How many years has your dad been in the car business?
Since he's about 17, so you got to say
45 years.
Over 40 years. Yeah.
That's a long time. We've seen it all, right?
Seen it all.
We know all the tricks in the trade, but for me as an automotive professional, I don't know the deals with leasing. I really don't. I can just tell you, point blank, it's complicated. It's more complicated than financing a car. There's a lot more terms that I'm just not privy to, and you don't have to be privy to. If I just say, hey, my budget is 400, give me 4 options, you really can't go wrong. You can shop the options. In my opinion, it's incredible. You have some life wisdom for me? How do you manage? How's the stress levels? Do you have any?
Yeah, I get stressed at times, but you got to just keep moving forward and dealing with it. I've learned to. I've been doing this so long that I try to keep a positive vibe all day long.
Keep smiling, right?
Keep on going.
What's the line Justin always says? What do you say?
What
I don't know. What's the line?
Everyone has their stress. Every job has its stress. You got to look at the positives. You got to, look at the family at home, look at the things you've created, and just keep moving forward. And I enjoy what I do. I enjoy making people happy, and every customer, their first time, I have text messages, I have voicemails of people that just thank you so much, and that's a gratifying thing to get. A lot of people, a lot of businesses, you don't get those things. You get the problem phone calls, and I do get those from time to time too. But it's nice to make people happy and keep their lives a little simple.
So that's what. Yeah, that's really. I would say that it sounds like keep it simple, stupid. that situation. Keep it simple, stupid. You're being stupid by wasting time to go and shop, and like you just get overwhelmed, and like you said, you get committed because you've spent the time, and then you start rationalizing for yourself like, oh, well, I'm already here, I guess. Wouldn't it be better to just have like a virtual array of options?
2019, I mean, everything is done on the
It's
computer. It's, you know, you don't inherently have to leave your home for anything. So I kind of created that with purchasing a vehicle.
I like that. I like
Thank
the way
you.
that was nice, short, succinct. You know, you got this perfected. It sounds to me like, and you can help a lot of people. And in my opinion, I just, you know, I hope that everything continues to grow. I think after, you know, some people that have never really heard about this before see this, I think it's gonna give people an understanding of, you know, like let's try something new.
Yep.
Right? You know, what's the harm in that? What's the harm in 30 minutes of trying something new?
And I can guarantee they'll never go back to the traditional way. They won't.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm certain of it. Thank you, Nick.
You're the man with the master plan in the leasing business. This is 100%. I would categorize myself as a 1%er in the automotive world. This is a 1%er in regards to the new car world of leasing cars. I mean, how many leased cars per year are happening in the world today? I mean, in the United States.
Hundreds of thousands. I mean, the auto industry is kind of dictated on the economy. People don't buy new cars when the economy's down. They spend probably more than they should when the economy's up. The leasing end of things, I mean, cars have almost become a necessity nowadays to most people. People need a vehicle. Most people want the ease of having a warranty and being covered the entire time they have the lease. They like the, you know, God forbid the car breaks down, you get the roadside assistance. I mean, with a lease vehicle versus owning an older vehicle, you're covered with everything from start to finish. People like having that and being able to get a new car every 3 years at a fraction of what it would cost you to finance or own a vehicle outright. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You can lease a car nowadays for under $200 a month. I mean, to have a car payment that's $100 and some odd, $200 a month, to me, you can't beat that, being fully covered the entire term you have the car. So that's, you know, it's a good thing.
Back to business. I try to get this guy to stop talking about his craft, and he can't, because it's cool to see. You could probably be talking for the next 10 hours in regards to, well,
If I had
you know,
time.
next month we'll hopefully come back and then do another one of these to keep the education going. The movement's happening. It is 2019, and things are just evolving so fast. You don't need to waste your time on things that you don't need to waste your time on. That's really the bottom line, in my opinion, and this is the solution for the current world, right? This is happening right now. Technology is here, and this is the solution for your car buying experience. I think it's obvious. It's really obvious.
Thank you.
Again, let's
Appreciate
see.
it, guys.
All right,
Thank
see you
you.
next month. Peace.